All right, guys, I'm right here where I'm trying to measure the energy coming out the battery before it converts and lose power and comes out in the AC, because when you have this, you're only measuring it after it converts power and comes out. So how much am I losing from the battery to here? Don't know. So this is where this comes in. So I decided to go ahead and I wired it put a new heat shrink on with the wire underneath, with the wire touching, so I can connect it and disconnect it easier, because this is a thin wire and it has to be wrapped around. And anyways, I figured this will be easier for me. And then the blacks and the negative side, I also did the same to the shunt, the battery monitor. The black is connected, and it connected where it should told me to connect. And then this is the little shunt, the cheap shunt that I have is connected, and they're connected to the wires that is connected, told me to connect to from the instructions on the back here. All right, so hopefully I got this wire thing connected properly. These two extra ones, I know that you don't need them. It comes with for these last two for the direct connection. They say you don't need them, so I'm glad I don't have to worry about them. I just have to worry about these, and this is what we're working with. So these two extra ones, the last two slots, is still empty. All right, so anyways, this is where I'm not like I said, I'm not a professional, but I'm showing you that I'm out here trying to be as professional as I can. Let's see if I can monitor the battery energy coming out from the battery and how much I'm losing inside the conversion before it comes out the AC, and then I can easily count and measure that from this monitor, but I can't measure it before without this. So there we go. Hopefully I'm doing something positive with my setup here, so I can actually monitor what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Like I said, this is not a professional. This is not me teaching you. This is a me learning, and I'm bringing you along on my bumbling along journey. Thanks, guys. Be patient and be merciful. Remember, I'm not a professional, so I can't be as professional as most of you guys out there. All right, guys. Here we are. Remember, everything you see in my videos, I'm not a professional. I'm not being paid or sponsored. All right. I'm trying to figure out this how to put all this together. I've already tested this with just the battery and the cables, and I've ran my fridge up to 24 hours with all the batteries, and there's no heat, there's no warmth or nothing. And then since then, I now put a fuse in here and a battery monitor that I just connected. All right, so now that's monitor now. I see how this works together. All right, I wasn't doing it before. Before it was just the cable cord, and this, and the battery and the fridge, and I was testing it with this one right here. But now I got this one, so this battery monitor and this one to work together, and let's see. All right, again, I'm not being paid. This is not a learning video. This is a me learning and me bringing you along on my journey. The ready-made power stations were not working out for me, so here I am trying to build one myself. Can I do it? I don't know. What we're gonna find out. All I know is that I need to have a reliable power station or a backup generator of some sort that I can rely on. When the power goes out, I can still power my fridge and my essentials. Right now I have nothing until now. And even this setup is not a very good setup, because I can only power my fridge for 24 hours with the stored power that I have. I don't have no solar panels or anything like that, which I will be getting in the future. Everything is on a budget and everything is on stages. But right now, this is where we are. All right, so let's see how this works. I've never done this before, but hopefully I connected these connections correctly, and we're going to hook it up now and see. All right. I want you to see that I just hooked up the red and the black, and nothing else is hooked up. It's clear. So just this red is hooked here, this black is hooked up to this one, and I got power. Alright, 13.3 is the voltage. I don't know if that capacity, all that is all right, because you know I just plugged it in, so I don't know if I have to program it or what. But anyways, let's hook up this and let's start to see what we can do here and hook it up to the fridge. Alright guys, I want you to see I got it crudely set up here. I got the red on the red, the black on the black going through the shunt, and then it's hooked up the red and the black with the fuse onto one battery. Okay, this battery is just balanced, it's not hooked up. Alright, so let's you can see the battery monitor saying it's 13.3. Now I'm going to just turn this on before I plug it in, the fridge in. Okay, the fridge is unplugged right now. I just unplugged the fridge. So you see the fridge is no lights on in the fridge. Alright, so let's see, let's turn on, just to turn on the converter. Alright, let's see what happens. So I don't know if you can see it. What's it doing? Alright. And so now let's plug in the fridge. Alright. Plug in the fridge. I'm going to start. Now this is starting. It's pulling this much. Yeah, and now let's go back to here. So again, I don't know what I'm looking for, guys. I'm here trying to figure this out. All right, here we are. This is how much the AC from it comes out. I can monitor this one. I'm learning how to read this one better. That's and the lights. There we go. Just keep it on that one there. And again, guys, I know my camera setup is not good because I don't have a good camera. I don't have a stand on it. I'm holding it in my hand still and balancing it on books and chairs and boxes. That's my camera stand, wherever I can balance the camera. That's where it stands. I'm just saying. All right, there, we just started this test. All right, now I've tested these batteries already with this converter without the fuses. You know, again, it doesn't get hot. But I got a 100 amp fuse here now to make everybody happy. There's a 100 amp fuse. And we can monitor the battery. Let's come back in an hour or so and see what happens. Alright, so where we at. Alright guys, let's take a quick look at where we are. Fridge is still plugged in. Over 7 hours and 38 minutes. I've used on this side 797 watt hours, kilowatt hours, but it's watt hours for me, out of the 1,280 watt hours, right? But how much did I lose? Well, we only know if we come to the battery shown here, and the battery monitor says I've used 1,001 watt hours. So I've used just over 1,000 so far. My voltage. The fan is on. Let's take the temperature. Let's turn on the. All right. All right. Let's check. And let's see how it's coming out there. That's the temperature of the air coming out. All right. Let's check the side of the fridge just to compare. This is the side of the fridge before, and then the metal part there. 80. All right. The side of the fridge and the 81. All right. Let's go back to the. It's not much of a big difference, right? Let's go to the terminals here. Yeah, let's go to the next terminal. Just to be clear, when I touch them, I can't feel nothing. It feels like when they're not even hooked up, it doesn't feel like there's any energy going through them. All right. Now let's check the fuse here. Let's see. See? Side of the battery that's being plugged in to the battery that's just being used as a table with the converter that produces heat. It may come down, but it's not plugged in. It's fully charged, but not plugged in. See? Not much of a difference. They're the same temperature, right? It's not heating. I don't feel no heat on it, nothing. It feels cold just like this one does, not plugged in. And we are clearly pulling power from it. All right? It's working for me. This is not a, I'm not going to say this is a cheap converter, but it's not a pure sine wave converter. For me, pure sine wave. You know, on the box, this says it works just fine. It should work for my appliances, and it's working just fine for me. And for me, this wasn't cheap, but it was cheaper than the pure sine wave stuff. And, you know, if you can afford to send me free stuff, then I'll be more than happy to compare it, test it, or use it, you know, compare it to the cheap stuff that I can afford. But right now, this is all I can afford. And I'm touching it, and I don't feel no heat. So if you don't like the touch of the forehead, the forehead touch like the mama touching the forehead and says, yeah, you got a fever. I could touch it and say, no, there's no heat here. But you don't want that. You want the technical temperature stuff. Here, I just checked it. But it's about to finish because you can see we're going at the end. Technical, this one is better to check because you see how much we're losing to come on this side. So I'm almost losing 200 watt hours there. If you can, if just my, just my public school learning knowledge that I can tell, 800 on this side versus the 1,000 on this side. That's, I'm sure it's working just fine the way I set it up. That's how much I'm losing in the conversion into this. So maybe the pure sine wave stuff, you know, is better in the losing power in the conversion, but again, I can't afford that. And if you don't have nothing like I don't, until now, I have barely this, you know, it's better than nothing. That's all I'm saying. Watch me see if I can build a power station with 4 of these put together, because like I said, I want these to still stay 12 volt, but I want it to have over 5,000 with all 4 batteries put together instead of 1,280 times 4. Yeah. Anyways, you could do the math. I think it's like just over 5,000 watts. And that would be better than 1,000. Yeah, see? And I'm touching it, and we already did the temperature check. There's no heat. I don't feel nothing. It's cooled air blowing out. With just the, how much am I pulling? 300, just under 346 watt hours on this side. No. So total of 803. And what? You see the calculations on this side, and I need to figure out how to make this bar come down with it. So I guess I need to learn how to program it. Alright, I just hooked it up and started playing before I even learned how to program. But it's a start. I'll learn that on the next discharge. Once this is finished, I'll charge it up and then discharge the next one, and I'm keeping track, and I'm writing down my whatever I need to do to keep track. So if I don't remember, so I know how much time to charge, discharge, and what I got out of each one. I'm just saying. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm not a professional, but I'm trying, okay? At least I'm trying, and I'm bringing you guys along on my bumbling along journey. That's all I'm saying, right? Yeah. All right, guys, so again, remember, this is not a learning channel. This is a me learning. I'm bringing you along. I put up the new, I hooked it up to the new battery, or a fresh battery, just so I can see how much we use. I haven't plugged in anything and used anything, turned this on, okay? So remember, this is the old battery here that's fully discharged. I need to charge it, all right? And this one was the one that's over here, and I switched it just so I can get this to turn on. So remember, the run time was 8 hours 15 minutes, just to remember that. And then on this side, it says we used 874 watt hours on this side. All right, and then and that was we pulled 346 watts continuous. This is how much my fridge was pulling. It's not an energy efficient fridge, but it worked just fine. All right, so that's it right there. And then let's come over here where I just hooked up, just so I can get the power to turn on. And so it's 1,000, what does that mean? 1,011 or 1,110? Anyways, there it is, 8 hours and 17 minute run time. But this is what I need to understand here. It says 1.11. So is that 1,011? 1,111? 1,001? Or just 1,100? Because should be getting 1,280 watt hours, right? I only got 1,000.11, so kilowatts hours. How much? So anyways, even I got that, that's how much I lost in the conversion to get this on this side. Anyways, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm not a professional. Like I said, everything I have is not the most expensive and is not the best of the test, and this is not me teaching you, this is me learning. Remember, this is don't look at the voltage or anything else on this side, because this is hooked up to the fresh battery. We just wanted to see how much we got. We got 1,001.11. So what does that mean? 1,111? 1,011? Anyways, I just got over 1,000. That's all I know. From the 1,280, I thought I was gonna get, it would be something like that. But anyways, when you convert it to your meter, your converter like I have here, and this is the 1,000 watt converter I have, you lose this much from that 1,000 to this much. So hopefully when I put these 4 batteries together, and however I got to do so, I can make that 1,000 be 4,000 since we're losing this much anyway, so I'm barely getting the 1,000, right? Again, I'm not a professional, so I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm trying to do something so I'm not left in the dark. Just in case, this is only for emergencies, all right? This is not mostly for everyday use, but I need to rely on it. If I want to use it every day, I should be able to use it and rely on it. That's all I'm saying. And so far, I'm still learning, right? Right.